Hello Stellar friends, it's Amber here, and today we are learning how to play I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. We're going to be learning the chords, the intro picking part, as well as that classic country strumming pattern that the song is so well known for. What you'll be needing today is your guitar and a willing to learn spirit, so let's get started. First things first, make sure your guitar is tuned, and for this version we're not going to be using a capo for the song. We have 5 chords that we need to look at, all pretty straightforward. We have a regular E major, where we can strum all the strings. From here we have an A major chord, we strum from the A string down. Next we have a D major, where we strum from the D string down. G major is next, all the strings. And our final chord, and I'm sorry about this, but there's nothing we can really do, we have a B7 chord. Now this is technically an open chord, so it's not a bar chord, which a lot of people, try to get away from playing bar chords, but it is a chord shape that uses all 4 fingers, and it is quite tricky, especially if you're starting out, okay? But it's an important chord to learn for the song, so it's a great opportunity to put in that effort and time to start getting familiar with a B7 chord. And we're going to be strumming this chord from the A string down. So now that you have those chords under your fingers, let's go and check out how to play that classic country rhythm, which is referred to as a boom chukka. Okay, this is an iconic strumming pattern that Johnny Cash is quite well known for. So the boom chukka is going to sound like this if I play this on an E major chord. Okay, so let's dissect this one strum at a time. So a boom chukka consists of 3 sections. We have the boom, which is generally our bass note. So for an E chord, our bass is going to be the low E string. So this is our boom. The chuck is a down strum of our treble strings, and the is an up strum. Also aiming for those treble strings, the higher sounding strings. So in slow motion, we have boom, chukka, boom, chukka, boom, chukka. Okay, so bass, and we strum down and up. I would seriously recommend pausing the video here, whacking on an E major chord, and just practicing that motion for 30 seconds. Boom, chukka, boom, chukka, boom, chukka, boom, chukka. So now that you have that strumming pattern under your fingers, let's go through each of the chords, and I'm going to show you which strings you need to play for the boom, okay? Generally speaking, it's the root note that is going to be the most important string that you need to target. So what do I mean by a root note? What do I mean by targeting a specific string? So we've spoken about the E major in the example. So the root note for an E major chord is our low E string. Okay, so you can think about an E chord, E string. That's quite an easy way to remember it. Okay, and you're going to do 4 boom chukkas on an E. So let's try that together. 2, 3, 4. Boom, chukka, boom, chukka, boom, chukka, boom, chukka. Our next chord that we need to talk about is an A major. So for our A major chord, the root note, most important string to target, is our A string. A string, A chord. Okay, so let's do 4 boom chukkas. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a little bit more difficult when targeting a string that is sitting in between 2 other strings. You might have hit the D string by mistake. You might have hit the E string by mistake. Completely normal, so don't aim for perfection, just aim for progress. So from the A chord, our next chord is a D. So for the D major chord, we're going to be playing the D string as our root note. Boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka. So far, so good. Next, we have our G major, and our root note is our low E string again. Okay? And again, we're going to practice the boom chaka. 2, 3, 4. Boom, chaka, boom. Boom, chaka, boom. And our final chord is our B7 chord. Okay, B7, our root note is on the A string. And we're going to do the same. Boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka. Now, once you can do that, we're going to be adding another layer of complexity. And what we're going to be doing is trying to alternate between two bass strings. This is what Johnny Cash does in the song. It's really going to bring out the essence from what we hear on the record. So let's talk about which two strings do we need to focus on when we're playing a boom chaka rhythm. So for the E chord, we're going to be alternating between our root and our A string. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's still 4 rounds of the boom chaka, but we're just alternating now between two different strings. So you might want to just practice that on the E. A chord is next, and the two strings we're going to be alternating between are the A string, which is our root, and our low E string. So we start on the root, 2, 3, 4, A, E, A, E. Our D major chord, we're going to be alternating between our root, which is the D, and our A string. So it's going to sound like this. D string, A string, D string, A string. G major, alternating between the low E string and the A string. So it's the same as an E major chord. It's going to sound like this. And last but not least is our B7 chord, and we're going to be alternating between the A string and the D string. So next up, we're going to be taking everything that you've learned so far, which are the chords, how to play a boom chaka strumming pattern, as well as how to alternate between your bass strings, and we're going to apply that into the song. So we have 3 verses that we need to learn, which means we have 3 different chord sequences. So verse number 1 is going to be up on the screen, and this verse is in the key of E major. So the song is going to start in the key of E major. So this means in a simple language, we're going to be working with the first chord of the key, which is obviously E. We're going to be working with the 4th chord of the E major scale. So we have E, F, G, A. So we have an A major. And we're going to be working with the 5th chord in an E major key. So we have E, F, G, A, B. So we have an E, we have an A, and we have a B. Now the B in this song, we're going to be using a B7 chord. So this is just a variation of a regular B major. So our chord sequence is up on the screen. We're going to be starting off with that B7. We change to an E major. Now our pivot finger is our 2nd finger. So that's a nice, easy transition. We're going to go back to B7. And then back to our E chord. Next up, we have an A. Back to E. B7 is coming up again to E. So that's the crux of the first chord sequence. We then have 2 A chords coming up next. And this is kind of preparing us to move into the next chord sequence. Okay. So each of those chords is going to get 4 rounds of the boom chukka, okay? So if I show you on B7, it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we have A string, D string, A string, D string. And then from here, we go into the E chord, which will be E string, A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we repeat that again. B7 to E. 1, 2, 3, 4, E. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if this is a new strumming pattern for you and you're not that comfortable or confident playing a boom chukka strumming pattern, and maybe it's not sounding that great, then I want to just help you a little bit. Try not to get too caught up with the bass strings, okay? If you can just get the concept of the boom chukka sounding right, so you kind of aim for the low strings for the boom and you aim for the high strings for the chukka, then that is a good place to start. So for example, if I show you, and it's going to sound messy, but at least it's a start, right? To the E. Low, high, B7. Low strings, high strings, low strings, high strings. Okay, so what I'm just demonstrating there is that I kept the rhythm going, kept the beat flowing, and it sounded better than potentially something like this. Okay, because that doesn't sound very musical. That sounds very robotic, very mechanical. That is clearly someone who is trying to aim for perfectionism over musicality. Now, to get to a refined, beautiful sound with your playing, it's going to take a combination of both. I'm not saying the one is better than the other, but sometimes messy action is a good place to start. So just jumping in there and just trying to get that rhythm sounding as fluid as possible. Okay, I'm definitely not hitting the right strings every time, but at least if I put the record on, I would be able to play along with it. And then you could also just spend time working on hitting the correct bass notes, but not trying to play at full speed, okay? Because that's when you get it's kind of like this urgent, I need to get moving, I need to keep moving, but it's like not working and it sounds like you're clearly struggling. If you want to practice hitting the right bass notes, then slow everything down. So everything sounds in time with itself, right? Okay, so that's just a little side note there. That is how we play the first verse of the song. Pretty straightforward. You can hang out here for a little while if you want to keep working on that alternate bass line and, you know, just those chord transitions. But what we're going to be doing next is moving into verse number 2. And in verse number 2, we're going to be modulating to the key of A major. So in the key of A major, again, we have the same similar structure where we're going to be using chord 1, chord 4, and chord 5. Okay, but because the key has changed, this means the chords are going to change as well. So if we're in the key of A major, chord 1 is going to be A. Chord 4, A, B, C, D. We have a D major. And chord 5, A, B, C, D, E. So the three chords we have in this second verse is A, E, and D. Okay, so now we have those chords up on the screen. We're starting on an E to an A chord. And we revert back to E again and to A. The next line, D major to our A, to our E, to our A. And then those two last chords that we see at the end of that entire section, we have two D majors. This is leading us into the third verse. okay, and it's setting us up for that key modulation. So back to the start of verse 2, starting on that E, we're going to be doing our boom chukka, alternating between the E string and the A string. Also 4 boom chukkas on every chord. From here we go to the A chord. A string, E string. A, E, A, E. And we repeat that again. E to A, E, A string, E string, A string, A string, E string, A string, E string. When we hit the next line of music, we have our D major, which means we're alternating between a D string and the A string. Boom, chukka, boom, chukka, boom, chukka, boom. To the A chord. E is next. E, A string, E, A string. Back to the A. E, A, E. And the last 2 chords we have as our D major. D string, A string. Boom, chukka, boom, chukka. Repeats. So far, so good. Next up, we have our final verse, which is where we are going to be modulating to the key of D major. So let's figure out what chords are we going to have in this section of the song. So because we're in D major, we're going to have chord 1 is D. Chord 4, D, E, F, G. So we have a G major. And then our 5th chord, D, E, F, G, A. A major. So chord 1 is D, chord 4 is G, chord 5 is A. And so those chords are up on the screen, and you can see we have a combination of those chords up on the screen. So starting our A, just think about which bass notes you're going to be strumming. So whenever I think of an A chord, immediately my brain is going A, E, A, E. When I think of a D chord, I think D, A, D, A. Okay? And then A, D repeats again. And the D chord. Okay? Because the strumming is kind of just, that should be a lot more automatic. But it's the bass strings that you kind of need to think about before just jumping straight in. When we get to the G major chord, our root note is our G. So we have the E string, because this note here is called G. So remember, we're always trying to start our boom chukka on the root note of the chord. And so when we're playing a G major chord, the root is another fancy word for the tonic, which is another fancy word for the starting note. So think of G major, well, the starting note of G major was probably going to be a G, right? So this is our G in the bass. G string, A string. And the D is next. Now, the cool thing with this song is that a lot of the chords, the open string is the root note. So if you have a D major, open string D is the root. For an A chord, open string A is the root. For an E major chord, the open string E is the root. So that's quite easy to think about the root note when you're thinking about those 3 chords. It's just the G major and that B7, okay, that you have to think about where is the root note, and our second finger is squeezing down the B, the note B, on the A string in the 2nd fret when we're playing a B7. Okay, even I fumble sometimes. It's so normal. Okay, so I kind of got interrupted going through the chords for verse number 3, but honestly, there's so much repetition here that if you can play line 1, you can most likely play line 2. It just takes practice and working on those chord sequences, okay? Honestly, spending time, just practice changing between the chords. Okay, once you can do that really smoothly, then what you can just do is practice just doing a boom chukka but don't aim for any specific strings. Because now you're just focusing on getting the feel of that strumming pattern, internalizing the rhythm. Boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka. Once you get that, then we're going to build the next layer, okay, which is now maybe just trying to hit the root note 4 times in a row. So A string, A string, A string, A string. Now we're changing to the D chord. Try hit the D string 4 times. D string, whoops, D string, D string. And sometimes you're going to hit a different string by mistake. But don't let that derail you. Just move on and try hit the right string the next time round, okay? And then once you can just hit that root note over and over and over again and you're getting more consistent, then you can try to implement that alternating bass. Okay, it's all about layering. Some songs are going to be easy straight off the bat. Maybe it's got a super easy strumming pattern. You don't have to play any bass notes. It's just strumming and easy open chords. Amazing. But then there are going to be some songs like this where you can't just go from 0 to 100 and expect it to sound incredible. It's going to take a little bit more work and kind of breaking it down to the basics and then adding and adding and adding until you have the final product. So there we go. Those are the 3 main verses in the song. The song consists of 5 verses. We've only learned 3 verses, and that's because verse number 4 repeats the second verse chords, and verse number 5 repeats the first verse chords. So in essence, we've learned the entire song. So well done and good work. The final thing we're going to be looking at today is learning the intro of the song. Now I'm going to show you 2 variations. We're going to start off with the easier, more beginner-friendly variation, and this is what it's going to sound like. Now for this simplified version, we are only focusing on playing the bass notes. We're playing 1 note at a time with no strumming and no chords. So let's go ahead and check out how to play this beginner-friendly bass line. We have the tablature up on the screen. Our first 3 notes are on the low E string. So we have open E, we have 2nd fret, and we have 4th fret. Now notice how I'm using my 1st finger and my 3rd finger. Okay, I'm not using my 2nd finger and my 4th finger. We're playing in what is called 2nd position. Wherever my 1st finger is in the fret, that's the position we're in. So when my 1st finger is in the 2nd fret, this means we are in 2nd position. This would be 1st position. This would be 3rd position. Okay, so we are in 2nd position for this specific song, at least for 90% of what we're going to be playing. So we have 0, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. Now we're going to alternate between the A string, the E string, A string. Then we have another walk up, okay? So we started the song with a walk up. Now we're going to be alternating A, E, A. And we're doing the same walk up but on the A string. 0, 2, 4. So we've walked up. Now we're going to be on the D string. D string, A string, D string. And we're going to do a walk down. D string and then A string on the 4th fret, A string 2nd fret. We're walking down. Right, and the last bar we have there is an open A, 2nd fret on the D, open A, and another walk down. Okay, so from the very start, this is what it's going to sound like. to the second line, we have an open E. We're going to play the A string next, but we're going to be squeezing down the second fret. We're going to play that again. Open E, E second fret, open. So the rhythm. So we have 2 slow notes followed by 4 faster notes. Slow, slow, quick, 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 quick. And the majority of the picking part is going to sound like that. We have 2 slow notes followed by 4 quicker sounding notes. Now we have a position change, okay? Because you can see in that second bar we have a 1, which means our first finger needs to really be in that first fret. So that would mean second finger is going to play second fret on the A. That first finger is then free to play the first fret on the D string, back to the second fret on A, and then we're going to shift back into second position. So there's a little bit of position shifting happening there. So watch nice and slowly. So watch how my fingers move from one position into the next. So I'm going to play it from the start of the line, where we're still in a second position. Shift, shift. And then the last 2 bars, we're just playing back and forth between an E string and an A string, squeezing down the second fret. So let's put the whole thing together from the beginning, and this is how it's going to sound. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and shift positions. Shift back. Now let us go and check out the more advanced variation. It's mostly the same as the beginner-friendly one, except we are adding in chords and that boom chukka strumming pattern that we've learned earlier on in the lesson. And it's going to sound something like this. So as you can tell from that playthrough, I was holding a chord and then I was alternating the note in the bass, followed by a few of those walk up and walk downs that we learned in the easier option. So the song starts off the same with a 0, 2, 4 on our low E string. We're then going to be holding an A major chord shape. And we play an open A string, followed by a down up. Okay. So that's a chord. When you see any notes stacked on top of each other, like the 2, 2, 2, those are the chords, and we're just going to be doing a down up. So again, from the start, A string, E string, with a boom chukka, okay? Boom chukka, boom chukka, and then we have our walk up. The D major is next with 2 boom chukkas. Boom, chukka, followed by a walk down. D string, D string, A string, A string. Okay, so it's really not that difficult. At first, it can look very overwhelming, but if you can just think about it like this, the first 2 groups of notes that you see in each bar is a boom chukka, boom chukka, boom chukka, and then you have 4 notes which is the walk up or a walk down, and it's exactly what we learned in the beginner friendly picking part. The next line we have an A, boom chaka, but we have an A string, and then we're going to pick out the D string. A string, D string, walk down. We have an E major, boom chaka, we played an E string in the bass, and then A string. And then I'll walk down 2, 0, 2, 0. So that line in total. We have our B7 next, where we're going to be playing the A string and the D string as your bass notes. Boom, chaka, 2, 0, 4, 2. And our last 2 bars, we have our E, and we're alternating between the E and the A string. And that's just our regular boom chaka rhythm that we've been learning in the song. So there you have it. That's how you play the intro of the song. What we're going to be doing next is a full playthrough of the song with this intro picking as well as the boom chaka for all the vocal parts of the song too. Now you're going to notice that we are going to be playing the song with a metronome click track. And I've set the metronome to 85 beats per minute. Now this song on the record is really quick, very, very fast. Now, 85 beats per minute is not that fast in comparison to the record. However, if you're just starting out and learning the song for the first time, you're going to feel that 85 beats per minute is quite fast. But unfortunately, I couldn't make the metronome any slower than that. Otherwise, the singing was going to be really slow and it was going to, drag out the entire song. 85 beats per minute will definitely keep you on your toes, but it is definitely not anywhere near as fast as the original track. But it's a really nice, sweet spot if you're learning how to play this song. So here we go. Full playthrough coming up next. 85 beats per minute. I'll see you there. So let's get ready for a full playthrough. 1, 2, 3. Close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone when each day is through. Yes, I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness, I've known proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. You've got a way to keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I tried to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I keep close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. So that is a wrap on how to play I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. If you enjoyed the lesson, please could I ask you to just hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And I cannot wait to see you in another Stellar Guitarist song tutorial soon. So I'll see you then. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Bye.